Hi, my name's Leslie Whitty, and welcome to our episode of Inside Jobs. I have with me James Moore and Chad Spencer, who are also with the Workforce Development Board, as am I. And our special guest for today's episode is Mr. Justin Browning, and he is the project manager for BC Skills Development. And we'll be going into how BC Skills Development Academy goes along with jobs, because today is not just about jobs, it's also about some training opportunities that we have in the area. So today we're focusing on an upcoming huge training opportunity in web development. We'll be going into detail as to what that is exactly, what the training's like, what job would be available in connection to that training, and then how we can help. There are tons of financial assistance opportunities for this program, and so we would be thrilled to help as many people as possible, because this is an extremely exciting career field. So with that, Justin, again, thank you very much for joining us. I'll start off just with a very basic question. I've heard the term web development a lot, but how would you describe web development? What does that mean exactly?
Across the board from 30,000 feet, I'll say it like that. Web development is how we interact on the World Wide Web. So what is it you can touch? What is it you can see? What is it you can click on? What is it you can experience on the web? So web development includes user experience, user interface, which from Amazon looks different than what it might on Twitter, whatever the case. But web development is building and maintaining what individuals interact with when they're on the internet. Okay.
All right. So it sounds like it could be a lot of things, because when you're talking about internet, I mean, that is a huge, there are lots of different types of formats and programs that are out there. About this upcoming cohort that will be held in January, what do those classes consist of? Like what types of subject matter do you cover?
We cover about as much in 15 weeks as you possibly can as it relates to web development. The end goal is we want individuals that come through the program to exit with a resume that will allow them to be hired as a junior front-end web developer at industries locally, maybe working remotely for industries across the U.S., for businesses across the U.S. And in order to enter into those jobs, you've got to have a specific background. We don't ever consider the training that we offer to be an end all. It's really a gateway. It's a door that opens you up to the field and where you can enter into a junior developer role and thrive and be ready to learn and take it to the next level. So we like to say we go from zero to hero as far as training goes. So you can come into the web development training we offer with a zero background, or you can come in with a substantial amount of background, whatever the case. So we start really with the basics as far as how we set up and interact with each other in class. We like to mirror what industry does. So even in our interactions inside of our small groups, inside of the class itself, the participants, we like to use industry specific softwares such as Slack. Slack is a very prominent inside the development culture. So we use Slack to interact with each other. We do a lot of command line through terminal. And I could really get into the weeds here, and I don't want to. But basically, it's how to interact and set yourself up to where you can interact with your computer, and then get into building the structure of a web page with HTML, which is the name of that language, styling the web page through CSS, And then we really culminate with React. React is a programming language. It's trendy, but it's trendy for a reason, because it not only allows you to build web pages, but it also allows you to build web apps. And a web app, unlike a native app. So if you've got an iPhone, a native app might be something you download from the App Store on an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a web app is going to have the same interface across all platforms, whether it's an iPhone or an Android phone,
Mm-hmm.
or on your laptop. So we like to take people from building simple web pages all the way to building web apps, which is what we see industry really shifting to. So zero to hero, we go from learning what code looks like all the way to let's build a web app together and see what we can create.
So in this, Justin, you're not just talking about go build, and you know that I'm not very intelligent when it comes to computer stuff. I always turn to you when I need to, or Chad will help me turn it on every once in a while. But it's not just building a website, is it? It's so much more. It's a background of that, and there's so much more to it than a lot of people understand to web development. One of the things, tell us about this app that was created, I guess last fall, the one about the rain, when it rains, if roads get closed, and is there one of those that you all developed?
There is. It's one in use. So we had we get requests. I will get at least 24 requests from either small businesses or municipalities, as far as us being able to create something that fits a particular need that they have. And Barron County Judge Executive Michael Hale reached out 2 years ago with such a need. So we understood what the need was, which was essentially providing a new safe support system for our roadways, specifically our and reporting mechanism for our roadways. So let's say you are driving on a road, we have heavy rains like we've recently had, you have bridges that are flooded. How is it that can be reported in a quick manner to the road department? And it can be something as big as that, and it can be something as small as there's trash on the side of the road over on Bishop Road that the road department needs to come take care of and pick up. So instead of going through the tedious paperwork process, which traditionally what had to be done is someone would go out to the scene, they would file a report, that report would be taken to the road department. Someone in the office at the road department would read it, they would prioritize it, the next day they would assign it, and then they would, after it's assigned, somebody goes and takes care of it. We had who was our chief engineer, one primary student, his name is Tanner. Tanner actually chief engineered this app to where all that can be done from the phone of the staff of the road department themselves. So they use it frequently. They'll go out, they see an issue, they take some photos of the issue, they report what they need to report. They send it on or it goes immediately to the office, and the office at that particular point in time can prioritize it and say, hey, somebody needs to take care of this right now, or they can archive it and put it down the list. That's just one example. And that's how we're helping our local community as well. We want to do more than just to train. So BC Skills Development Academy, really, when they really pointed at me at the onset of this and said, can you help us build this? Part of my vision for it was not just that we educate, but inside of the program that we're also innovators. So we're building our own products, and we're building products that are going to be out in the market. And then third, so we educate, we innovate, and then we deploy. So we not only deploy personnel, but we want to deploy product to the marketplace, because we can be a training program that just trains and farms them out to all these other locations. But we also want to have a level of entrepreneurship inside of it, where we're setting people up and preparing them to build their own product to get to the marketplace. That's a bolster to the economy that's really different than just providing staff to businesses, but it's also, we're creating new businesses that are eventually going to hire staff, hopefully from our program in the future.
So I have a question. When companies start coming to James and I to request your services to help them with the product that you did for Barron County Roads Department, is that something that BC Skills is always looking to do for industry in our area, as far as develop apps that they can use?
within limits. So understand, we don't have at any particular year, I don't have a team of 20 that's, building these apps that can all focus on a particular app to a particular industry. Where we focus so far, Chad, is really in helping small businesses with their electronic footprint, essentially expanding their territory. And then if municipalities or other industry that's tied close to us has a very specific in-house need that we think we can build out for them, we'll do that as well. But I will say probably 50% of what we're approached with is beyond the scope of what our students can do after 15 weeks of training. But I tell you what we do. What we do is we know the people in the industry that can help them. And a lot of those folks in that industry will use us, students in BC Skills, to help build a product that they maybe end up building for this business that you're talking about, hypothetically. So we've built for companies in Atlanta, in Kansas City, in Boston, 2 or 3 out on the West Coast. We built several products that are in the marketplace right now that we don't own, but that we've consulted with and done some of the coding with. And that's beyond the scope of, Barron County specifically or Warren County in our region. But that's just to say, we may have built 20 websites and products locally, but there may be 40 websites and products that are nationwide that have been deployed.
I mean, go ahead.
So really by telling us that, this is something that they can still live in Barron County or Warren County, anywhere in our South Central region, and still be able to do that remotely, to do those types of things that you're talking about without having to go to the West Coast and those things. Does a lot of people usually get like gig jobs when they're done with this class? Is that similar to what you're talking about?
Yeah, it is. So we've got...
Hey, time out just a second. For those of us not in the know, what is a gig job?
So, the data suggests that, in the coming next 2 to 10 years, 70% of the workforce is going to be gig based. So when I say gig based, what I'm talking about is what we would consider contractual. Maybe 1099 employees. So a gig is where you would contract your services, give them a product, they pay you for that product, you go on to the next gig.
Okay.
Is what that is. So
sorry, I didn't know if it was like a computer, like, ooh, this has so many gigs. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Well, that was James talking, so it's got.
Leslie, yeah, I was the one saying it, so it was nothing to do with computer.
I was about to channel my inner Michael Jackson, thinking again, but go ahead.
Same meaning.
Tell us a little bit about the one you're going to do here real soon in January.
In January, we're excited about that. We've got one going on right now in Barron County that consists of, traditionally we do a hybrid program. We have high school seniors that are transitioning to either college or the workforce immediately. And then we have adults in the community, and that's the way our program has worked. But, in January, we're excited to partner with the South Central and the Cumberland's workforce boards to offer this on a regional basis. So we're going to do this adult only cohort, hopefully a combined cohort. We're going to see how that works out, to where we may have there may be 20 to 30 on site in Warren County, and there may be 20 to 30 on site, let's say in Russell Springs, and our BC Skills Development Academy staff serve both those groups at the same time, with the end goal of everyone in those groups. They've gone through the application process. They've shown they're hungry and they have an aptitude for something like this, and they're really driven and motivated to really get a leg up in the next economy. We've got those individuals in those rooms that are learning this web development, hopefully with the goal of landing a job locally, really getting the attention of some of our local employers, or getting a remote job but living locally, which is, that's a huge win. for us as well. But we're going to take them through this web development curriculum. We're going to say what we've said for the past year and a half or so. We're going to refine the curriculum. We're going to make it better as time goes. And then when the individuals in Warren County cohort or the Bowling Green cohort and the Russell Springs or Campbellsville cohort, when they exit, they're going to exit with the junior level developer skills. And it's time tested. So, there's employers really locally, and we have employees that work for employers all across the U.S. that are they know that what we're going to produce is going to be a good product. They're going to get great junior level employees that are going to be driven. They went through a really rigorous curriculum, and they're ready to do something big. So we're excited about joining together here in January.
So let me just to like encapsulate everything you've just said, because it's a lot, but it's good. If I'm interested in being a part of this web development cohort, I could, and let's just pretend that I am skilled in this area. Okay, let's just pretend that. In 15 weeks, starting in January, I go through your program. I do well with it. I gain all these skills. So hypothetically, I could then, apply for positions as a junior developer. And I would have a good chance at getting those. And I would think, given with all the COVID concerns, this type of thing would be extremely important now. This type of training, to me, this is amazing to learn, because you're securing your future, because if you need to work remotely, wow, that's you can do that, and you can thrive doing that. So with that's not like crazy talk, what I just said.
No, that's realistic, and that would be our expectations. The overwhelming majority of individuals that have gone through our program, they've not entered in with skills as far as it relates to coding skills, but they exit with skills. And it's not just coding skills, but it's workplace skills. How do you interact in the new workforce that turns over? The technology turns over, the personnel turns over on a frequent basis. That's a different culture than the culture when I entered the workforce, and I guess all of us when we all entered the workforce. How do we interact in that new culture? So tomorrow, for example, we have Alex Richardson, who went through the program two years ago. He's a software developer that works for a company called El Toro. El Toro is based out of Louisville. Alex is working. Alex is going to get a call in, and Alex is going to say, this is what my workplace looks like. Not only that, this is what most workplaces look like that do similar things as what we're doing. So it's not just educating as it relates to, this is how you code, now see ya. It's educating, yes, this is how you code, and this is how you interact in this world. And this is where you're going to, and it's, and we try to, really push that growth mindset, because you could go into a career, go into a job. They don't want a web developer. Well, they want a back-end developer or some other an iOS developer, whatever the case. But learning what we teach really is the gateway to where you're going to learn multiple languages. Alex, that I just spoke of, told me that he said you could have thrown a dart at any day last week, and I used a different programming language when I was there. I didn't teach him all those programming languages. I taught him one. But learning that one allowed him to learn the other and be ready for whatever the market threw at him.
Okay, I've got one more question for you, Justin, before we go into cost and possible financial assistance. What would your, and I know, I don't want to get into like a stereotypical type thing, but what kind of person would thrive in this kind of training?
When we do the really the interest surveys and the application process, there's a couple questions about aptitude as it relates to technology, but the major theme behind it is we're trying to determine, are you hungry? Are you wanting more? Do you see yourself as being a potential innovator and leader in this industry? And honestly, rural America is overlooked. And I think the reason we're overlooked is because we've not been really intentional in the past about building a culture where our students in school and our young adults and our older adults know that having a stable career in the technology workforce is possible for them, even though we live in rural Kentucky. So it's building that culture. But so they got to be hungry, and they've got to be motivated intrinsically. But as far as aptitude goes, I would say you need to have quite a pretty analytical mind as it relates to how you think. So typically what I say is if you did well in Algebra 1, and you can think in that step-by-step mentality that algebra really leads you to think in, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. Now, there's other complex math that you get into as you get farther along, but really, in our entry level, if you're good with Algebra 1 and you're hungry and you're focused and you can commit to it, you're probably a fit, or you could be a really good fit for the program.
Awesome. And I know I said last question, but I did just think of one more. I'm sorry. As far as I know 15 weeks, how often did the classes meet, and about how long, per class?
Yeah, we will meet for 15 weeks. We will meet during the weekdays. So it would be like you were going to high school so you're gonna meet from 8 in the morning until mid-afternoon, maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever that ends up being. And the reason is, along with the training program, is we're an approved training provider for apprenticeships, and the program itself can count to 500 to 600 hours of a 2,000-hour DOL apprenticeship, or at the federal or the state level. That's a big win. And then hopefully, you exit the program once you go through it and you get into a position where that apprenticeship can be completed. So even though you're not getting a college degree, which you very well could exit with, and we hope that everyone exits with, is a credential that says you've completed a 2,000-hour apprenticeship in software development or as an IT generalist, or whatever the case.
Because with that certification, that is like that college degree to get you a leg up for that entry level position as a junior developer.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And we've got the flyer for the cohort, and I do want to mention that the deadline's been extended to October 1st. It says September 10th here, but the deadline's been extended to October 1st. So if you're watching this and it's not October 1st, you still have time to apply. And the average base salary for a web developer in Kentucky, am I reading that right? I don't have my glasses on. Is it 67? 57?
67,791.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's crazy. I mean, that's incredible. So in 15 weeks, you could be walking into a position, somewhere in that range. All right. Chad and James.
Yes,
So how can we help?
Yes.
So
with the WIOA part of it, and with the COVID that's been going on, we have dislocated worker funds that's been given to us. So that gives a great opportunity for people that may have lost their jobs during the COVID-19. There is funding for that, for the cohort that's going to be starting in January. And this is not just limited to South Central Kentucky region. Like he said, we're splitting this with the Cumberlands as well. So that covers, and several other counties as well. It's not just here in Warren County. And hopefully we got people from Butler County, Logan County, and things of that nature coming in, Monroe, all of our other counties as well, to do this. Because like we've been talking about, you're going to get a job pretty much. If you're good at it, you're going to get a job. And as you mentioned, the annual salary and everything on it. Now, you do have to qualify for the WIOA funding. And to do that, all you got to do is reach out to us, let us know a good contact information for you, and then a career advisor will speak to you about the information as far as what they need to get you into the class. Of course, Justin has an application process as well that he does an interview. I think there's a survey to start with as well as there, Justin. So there's a couple things to make sure that you have that aptitude, like Justin was talking about, to get into these classes. But there's a huge opportunity here for people, that's for sure.
So
Most definitely.
is it feasible to say that someone could get this maybe
Paid for.
at no cost, or are they expected to pay at least a little bit, or is it both?
If
You
we can
can't
get
say,
them funded, they will get it all paid for.
yes.
If they qualify for WIL funding, it will all be paid for.
See, I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't remember a lot of algebra, but maybe no, I mean, to me, this is an incredible opportunity that people, we should be beating people off with a stick, because
Can I add something, Leslie?
yeah,
And just if you're listening, please know this, that we've had age ranges from 16 to, I think our oldest now is 49, from 16 years old to 49 years old that have been in the program and completed it successfully. So our success rate at this particular point, this is entering into the third year, is 97% as far as beginning the program and completing the program. I think 80% is typically what everybody says is a win. But as far as completion goes, we're at 97%. And we have people, our teacher, our lead instructor now, his name is Matthew Riley. He was an Uber driver in Chicago 3 years ago. He went through the program 2 years ago. He's been trained ever since, and now he's the lead instructor for the program itself. We have this year in this particular cohort, we have a dislocated worker and a local journalist that's in there right now. We've had, employees of gas stations that are coming in during the day and going to work at night. There's no specific demographic that you would say this is the specific demographic that we're targeting going for. No, we want people, and it's my heart, it's my goal. We want to skill up our community and let them know and let them show their kids and then their grandkids that rural Kentucky, it's possible for us to push out as many innovators as can come out of the West Coast. We can do it. We just got to build that culture. So don't think any of you that's watching this or listening that you're eliminated just because of whatever demographic you are, because that is just not the case. It's not true.
So here's my thought. The initial process, we have that on our website, and it's on the tab that says cohort. So someone fills out the initial interest survey, and Chad, James, would it be a good job or a good thing at that point for them to contact you to see about funding?
That is correct.
Absolutely.
Go get your survey in, show that you're interested because after this broadcast and with us, continuing to get this out to the public, I don't want the class to fill up and someone to be hesitant. My thought is go ahead and let us know you're interested, and then see how much you might be able to qualify for with funding.
That's correct.
I learned several years ago that it don't hurt to be told no. But a lot of times you get told yes, so you may not qualify, but you'll never know if you don't start the process and find out.
That's
my mom's favorite saying: "Closed mouth doesn't get fed." So you have to open your mouth, let us know you're interested, and then we'll take the ball, run with it, and help you get qualified, or make sure you can qualify for the funding so we can get you in the class.
And I don't know if this is for sure, and if it isn't, you all tell me. But people who participate in this program, are computers involved? Are they able to get computers through this program, or is that something different? Is it a possibility? I mean,
from the discussions at this point, computers are most definitely involved. The whole time that we're in there, I know that there's both entities. Your entity and the Cumberlands both are looking at ways to which they can provide resources for a longer term than just during the extent of the program. So, is it a possibility? Yes, I would dare to say it's a probability that you can exit with the tools that you need to continue your career.
So to be clear, we're not saying, oh, if you're in this program, you get a computer to keep when you're done. We're not saying that, but we're saying that is something that we are definitely trying to make happen.
That's true. That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, we're right on schedule, so very good. If you watch today's webcast and are interested in the web development cohort that Justin Browning talked about, I would say get on it right now, because Justin, everything you said, and I've talked to you before, but I mean, it just blows me away what you're doing in, small town Kentucky. I mean, I just think it's fantastic. So I'm excited that we're doing this in Warren County, and people can come from Logan, Butler, Allen, wherever. But I think the opportunity that this provides to people is something that a lot of folks have never seen before.
And I would be happy to provide those interested, if you've got some interested, references and names of individuals that have came through the program and that are now working. If they'd like to talk to them about the program, what did you get out of it? What did you learn? And just give those, testimonials. We could do testimonials and put up slides and quotes and stuff. It's different when you're talking to someone.
Oh,
and I know I've got several people that would absolutely love to share their story and where they're at now as a result of what they learned while they were in the program.
Awesome. James, anything?
I'm gonna pound
It's
Justin.
awesome.
Like it, but
I can't wait to see this develop. Yeah, I can't wait to see the.
what I was going to say was Justin is on the.
I think James froze in Barron County.
I think James is trapped in the matrix.
I don't know how else to fix it now that we're almost done.
Well, we almost made it through with a smooth, but that's why this training is so important. It just goes to show. Well, thank you all so very much. We will be again extending the application process through October 1st. Go to southcentralworkforce.com, fill out the interest survey. It's just like we were saying, you don't know if it's a possibility if you don't take that first step. So thank you guys, and we will talk to you soon.
Have a great day, everyone.